I think we touched on this yesterday, and the view of the board was that they wanted to have visibility for any kind of data that was being provided to law enforcement agencies, and that they wanted sight of the sort of scale of the requests and indeed how that was being operated. And I think we described yesterday that there was that effective trade-off between requests from LEAs and the requirement to conform to those requests, whilst at the same time visibility, quite rightly from the board, that they wanted to understand where we were engaging with law enforcement agencies, what type of issue was being displayed, and to continue with that. And I think that is why the SEG declined to approve the submission of the paper. I think there was some surprise, my recollection from the meeting, where there was some surprise at the scale of requests in terms of the 22 law enforcement agencies and the 33 requests. I think that came as a surprise to colleagues. I think we were of the opinion that it was in the ones and twos in terms of requests for information on this sort of scale, and I think that was the primary discomfort, was the size and the number of requests that were coming forward, and therefore a better understanding of and a bigger understanding of the picture was requested.
Well, in fact, and we'll come to this in a moment, is what the minutes note is that further work and assurance was required in relation to Horizon data assurance, not to know more about the number or nature of the requests. It's about assuring, presumably, the quality, accuracy and integrity of Horizon data that this is referring to.
That too, certainly. But I think it was more a case of understanding the bigger picture. I think there wasn't that level of understanding at the SEG, and I think we needed to understand more broadly, what was being requested, in what form, and how we were going to supply that information, and what reassurance that we had that we were doing this in an appropriate way. So yes, I think there were certainly questions over data assurance, but I think it was a broader assurance that that the SEG were also looking for.
You said, and one can understand why the board might want to understand the scale of Horizon disclosure for law enforcement purposes and to have visibility. That is satisfied by the provision of information to the board. What this describes is that the board had to give its permission in order for a disclosure to occur. How did the board, in fact, go about determining whether to give permission for disclosure or not?
I don't recall having specific cases come to the board for that particular, to respond to that particular issue. I think this is still fairly uncharted territory for the organisation in its sort of modern guise in terms of how we supply information to LEAs. So I don't think we'd had a breakdown, certainly at the board, not in my time, of a specific case and then got under the skin of how and what we are supplying and in what context. So I think this is the start of that journey, for want of a better word, in the sense that this is the ACNI coming forward with a proposal.
I'm